Welcome to another conversation with the Brothers of Two Complex. We appreciate y'all for clicking on this video, but before we get into the content, make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the bangers that we drop every single week. We hope you enjoyed the video. God bless.
So a year later, and we're still talking about it. Brett Favre is attempting to get his defamation case against Shannon Sharpe reinstated after a Mississippi judge threw out the original case against Shannon Sharpe from Brett Favre for defamation. His lawyer is currently or was in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans, pleading to the judges to get it reinstated. So, Sticks, how do you feel about Brett Favre attempting to get this case reinstated, and what does this mean for Shannon Sharpe?
So, I feel like it's on Brett Favre's case. Now, mind you, Brett Favre, great quarterback. We talked about this about a year or so ago where, you know, the misappropriation of funds as far as the donation and the fundraising money that was spent on Brett Favre's behalf. Now, he has paid, you know, about $1.1 million of that money back. He does have about $700,000 left that he has to pay in interest to be able to, like about $730,000 has to pay in interest to be able to have it all cleared out. But I think it's a desperate attempt for him to revive his name, which, you know, as a man, our name and our word is everything. You know what I'm saying? Right. But what Shannon Sharpe said last year on Undisputed wasn't wrong. You know what I'm saying? And nor was it wrong. It was also a part of his First Amendment right, the freedom of speech. Like, he has the freedom to say what he wants to say. So that's the main reason why I got thrown out to begin with.
Within reason.
Within reason, because as we all know, me and D-Lo has said it on the show a million times, freedom of speech ain't really free. Yeah. Especially whenever you're a part of the media, whenever you have some kind of, you know, motion, as the young kids would say, your freedom of speech ain't really free, because you are definitely, whatever you say is definitely going to be held against you in the court of law. Right. You know what I'm saying? You
just can't be out here just spreading false information about somebody, especially when you're of somebody's stature as Shannon Sharpe.
True. So what Shannon Sharpe said was he was taken from the underserved and that he stole money from people that really needed that money, and to steal from the lowest of the low. Now, he stole money in the state of Mississippi. Now, Mississippi is, if I'm not mistaken, still is the poorest state in the country. And and of course, Shannon Sharpe, coming from where he came from, he has some kind of connection to that. He felt something in that because he came from impoverished, you know,
that visceral feeling that he had.
Yeah. So because he came from impoverished conditions when he was younger. So, and he had plenty of siblings, you know, mom and dad, they were impoverished. So he felt something in that. So he spoke on it on Undisputed. And I don't think Shannon Sharpe was wrong for what he said. But like you said, it has to be in reason, because to say that you stole from somebody, people are going to take, especially from somebody like Shannon Sharpe, the profile that he has in social media and in the media in general, people are going to take that as if Brett Favre literally stole. Like, he literally, but the way the lawyer was trying to make it seem was he was definitely embellishing a little bit from what he was saying. It makes it seem like Brett Favre was literally going to people's houses and stealing. That's not what he was saying. That's not what he was saying at all. Like,
I thought that's what the judge that dismissed it said. He said it's not as if Brett was going to individuals' houses to actually take money from them. It was more of a rhetorical hyperbole. Right.
It says that's actionable defamation, because the reasonable listener is not taking the word steal literally. So You're right. So, but it's one of those things where Brett Favre, you know what you did with that bread, and you know why you had to pay that money back. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, correct. And he to try to revive this defamation case is just a desperate attempt in reinstating his name in the community. But the people of Mississippi know what happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't think in the state that you grew up in, that you were born in, that they're going to look at that and say, okay, just because you got your defamation case handled doesn't mean you still didn't allegedly do what you did. So I think it's desperate. I think it's desperate. I don't think it means nothing for Shannon Sharpe, because number one, it's already been thrown out, and I don't think it's going to get revived, me personally. So Shannon said what he said, and he had all right to say what he said. So I don't think nothing's going to happen to it. What you think is going to happen with the case?
I think we're in lock and step here with this. I think that Brett Favre is using this as trying to be a quick win to get people to back off of him, reinstate his name in good faith with the community of Mississippi, with the football community, with individuals that may once saw him in a positive light that now see him in a negative light. And what better way to get that quick win than winning a case or getting a case reinstated against one of the biggest and hottest media personalities there is right now. So if he does have the ability to get this reinstated, and maybe even if it's reinstated, maybe even win, then that gives him a lot of momentum moving forward to overcome all of the negativity that's been placed with his name in the last year and a half, with everything that's going on with this case with the state of Mississippi. I'll be honest though, I don't think it's going to turn out well for him. I think it'll probably still remain closed in how it's been assessed, because like you said, or like you said, and first and foremost, like the judge in Mississippi said, it's really rhetorical hyperbole. He was asked a question, he was asked his opinion on a public broadcast, and this was the opinion he gave. It wasn't him actually saying that this is what Brett Favre did, even though a lot of people outside of Shannon Sharpe do think this is exactly what he did. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be any different.
I mean, Brett Favre is a Hall of Famer, man. And what happened in that situation, if y'all don't know exactly what happened, I'll link the video that we did last year in the description box below. But he's a Hall of Famer, and he has made a name for himself just in the sport of football alone. And I don't think that his name has been defaced. Well, maybe it has.
No, it has.
It definitely has. It has. So I mean, and he definitely doesn't have the respect that he used to have before this came up last year. So I mean,
right.
I can understand,
especially with certain communities too.
I can understand what. Yeah,
right.
For sure. But I mean, I can understand why he would want that. Why he would want the case to revive, but to be reinstated. But I don't know if anything's going to come of it, to be perfectly honest with you.
If he is able to get this reinstated, do you think there's a possibility that he could win it?
No. I don't see. Well, if I'm being subjective and not objective, I think that if it is reinstated, it's reinstated for a reason.
Right.
But I don't think anything is going to happen to. Well, if it is reinstated, then Shannon Sharpe gonna have to pay something in defamation. That would suck, honestly. That would honestly suck if he is to get it reinstated. It's reinstated for a reason, and Shannon Sharpe gonna have to pay something out just for having an opinion on what allegedly happened, kind of like low key actually happened last year with Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's, and not only was it like the misappropriation of funds in donations and fundraisers, it was welfare money too that he was spending. So it was like that was being spent allegedly by Brett Favre and a couple of his constituents. So it's like, if it is reinstated, I don't, like you said, I don't think it changes anything with Brett Favre's what the outlook of Brett Favre is in the communities. But if it, like I said, if it's reinstated, it's reinstated for a reason, and Shannon Sharpe gonna have to pay something out to Brett Favre for defamation of character, because that's just how defamation cases work. Do you think if it's reinstated, he has a chance of winning?
It's always a possibility. If it is reinstated, like you said, it's reinstated for a reason. And we will see what actually comes about that case with both sides. It's all about who presents the best argument. But like you said, if it's reinstated for a reason. And so if it is reinstated, there is always that possibility that the defamation will go through, that Shannon Sharpe will have to pay something, just like Tasha K had to pay Cardi B a couple years ago for defamation. But my thing is, if it is reinstated, if Brett Favre can somehow win, what does that mean for people like ourselves, people like the Shannon Sharpes of the world, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, that give their opinion on an ongoing basis about certain situations? Because, sometimes, I've said this multiple times as well, when you start talking about certain situations, you're trying to paint the picture that people can easily grasp and understand. And sometimes you say things that you don't necessarily mean in that way, but it helps the audience to grasp it a little bit easier. And so if you do it in that manner, then you could say something that does come off as a bit like you're painting this person in a negative light. What does that mean for us? So do we really have to either, one, not say anything at all about it, or just tell straight, like just tell the story straight line, not deviate from it at all? Or, what happens? I am actually interested in that, and you might not have the answer for it, but I would be interested in understanding that, because, we are just not necessarily reporting the news, but giving our opinions on situations, not necessarily talking about the individuals, but sometimes the individual gets tangled amongst the two when you're talking about a situation, and stuff happens.
I mean, what I think, like we keep saying, freedom of speech ain't free. So we always have with even now with certain topics that we talk about, we have to kind of dance around and say, we can't say certain words, and we got to make sure that we're being low key politically correct about any topic that we talk about. And that's why we kind of stay away from a lot of different topics that we would like to talk about, but it's so much censoring we got to do of ourselves that we can't talk about it freely the way we want to, because freedom of speech ain't free. So when it comes to people like us who are in quote unquote the media, we ain't large enough to be considered as the media yet. But once we get to that point, we're going to have to probably cut down a lot of the things that we say, because if what Shannon Sharpe said is defamation in the context of what Brett Favre allegedly did, then a
lot of people will be in trouble.
A lot of people will be in trouble. And the little guys like us, we know we got to shut the hell up.
Yeah, so we guppies.
We guppies we was small fish in a big pond, bro. So we got to make sure that we try to. That's why we try to be, say different things and tailor it to, not necessarily to our audience, but tailor it to
who we are,
how who we are, and also the platform that we're on, because YouTube could quickly, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, y'all doing too much. I got to go. You know what I'm saying? And so it means a lot if this goes through for people like us and people in the media, because if this is defamation, then bruh, we gonna have to really tailor ourselves to speak in a different light for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be, if he is able to win, I'd be interested in what Shannon Sharpe would have to pay. Cause if it's that 1.8 million, yeah, how coincident that he had to pay 1.8 million?
Coincident? What a coinky dink, huh? But I think I don't think it'd be anything that significant.
I don't know the Cardi B joint. I don't know what this lady said about Cardi B, but she had to pay $4 million.
Sheesh, yeah, that's crazy. But I think Tasha K was talking about the whole situation where she was doing stuff to the men and stuff like that. And
I don't know what she said,
but but Cardi B came out and said that it was true anyway. So like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we saying here? Like, for real. Yeah. But if Allegedly. It is 1 point,
we ain't trying to get sued.
Well, we not, but you know what? I'm gonna just leave that alone. But if it is that 1.8 million, then that would be very much a coinky dink that he had to pay what Brett was summoned to pay back to the state of Mississippi. That would be definitely a huge coincidence.